Oh hi, we're Pokemon mad in this house. We always have been, we always will be. And one Pokemon that we love in particular is Charmander. I mean, how couldn't we? Look at the guy. I mean, this one saved my life. So basically, I owe my life to the guy. But this has got me thinking, how did Charizard become so popular? Well, let's find out.
So everyone knows Charmander. I mean, I did talk about him once before, but that was a bit of a rush job on my part, so let's go over him again. Charmander is the lizard Pokemon, and is a little orange lizard with a fire on his tail. He's got a pretty basic design, even next to the other two Kanto starters, but I think that's what makes him the best one. He's instantly recognisable and lovable. With that little smile of his, he is genuinely so well designed, and just really cute. That, paired with his voice he had in the anime, makes him so damn cute.
What an amazingly designed Pokemon. And don't just take my word for it, because everyone loves him. Let's see what Mara has to say.
Well, I'm not sure how to put this into words, but I'll try. This one I want to put is balls and the little hands and the little belly and the little cry boots. And a little hand look and just look how cute. And the Charmander makes me very happy and I really like it when Joe gets me new Charmander.
See what I mean? Everyone loves the guy. But what about Charmeleon? Well, let's find out.
Well, yes! Charmeleon is a really well designed Pokemon, and a really good midway point between Charmander and Charizard. The red is apparently either meant to show his new aggression that he had gained from evolving, or other places say that it's a pimple that's engulfed his entire body. And both of those things actually do kind of work in how I see Charmander as the baby, Charmeleon as the teenager, and Charizard as the adult. And Charmeleon really is giving teenager trying to prove myself and my strength vibes, and that's what makes Charmeleon a really good stepping point between the two. Because if we went from Charmander to Charizard, it would make any sense, but with Charmeleon, it really does make sense.
Well, Charmander and Charmeleon are both amazing. We already all knew this. But what about Charizard?
Well, just look at this guy. I mean, he has so much aura. More aura than most Pokemon. And one of the best final evolutions of any Pokemon. I mean, you can really tell that this Charmander became this Charizard. I mean, he is genuinely just so cool. But why?
I mean, there are loads of reasons why Charizard's so cool. I mean, Dragon, the winds, Charizard. But what turned Charizard from cool to the coolest? Well, I think there's a few reasons why.
1. The games. Pokemon Red. Yeah, I've heard of it. Look at the box art. A really cool looking red, and Charizard in such a cool pose. Looking like there is no one going to beat Charizard. I mean, Pokemon Blue looks cool, but Pokemon Red is 100 times more cooler. It follows the rule of almost every single first pair is the coolest of the pair. Again, almost. And as a first Pokemon to follow this rule, Charizard is even more remembered because of this. If you pick Charizard as your starter, you actually go through the game at a bit of a disadvantage before the 4th gym. But because of how strong and cool Charizard is, it makes it worth it, because that's just how good he is. Basically, if you had Charizard, you were one of the coolest and strongest on the playground. Or maybe I'm just looking too deep into it. 2. The anime. I mean, come on, everyone knows the story of Ash's Charizard. When they first meet, he was a Charmander, Ash, Block and Misty save him from the rain and save his life. Charmander evolves and stops suspecting Ash, and then evolves again and almost never listens to Ash. And you'd think that that would make you hate Charizard, but it actually does the opposite. It makes you love him, and it makes it so much cooler when Charizard does actually battle. Like in Ash's battle against Blaine, when he fought against the Magmar, or in the Indigo League when Charizard fights Richie's Charmander, before just not listening again. And I mean, at this point in the anime, Ash, in the grand scheme of things, is still at the start of his journey. He only really rightfully won, like, what, 3 or 4 badges? He is really inexperienced, so it makes sense that his big strong Pokemon wouldn't listen to him. It also makes sense that he'd risk using Charizard in such an important match. and it really helps show where Ash is at this point in his journey. And all of this would come together in the episode Charizard Chills. The Orange Island arc is usually seen as a bit of a filler arc, and that is what it is, and one episode in particular is the biggest episode of the arc, as it ends with Charizard finally listening to Ash. In the episode, Charizard gets hit by an Ice Beam attack, and Ash spends a lot of the episode trying to save Charizard, and keeps talking to him and trying to just make him feel better. Charizard takes notice of this, and thinks back about when they first met. Ash goes so far for Charizard that his hands actually look red raw. He eventually passes out, and wakes up to find that Charizard feels better. And now, the two have an unbreakable bond. Charizard finally respects Ash. Truly an amazing part of the anime.
So now Ash has this really OP Pokemon, and it's basically unfair for everyone he goes up against in Johto. And I think this could have stopped Charizard being cool. But
the writers knew what they were doing with him, and they wrote Charizard out of the show, with Ash leaving him in the Characific Valley to train up. Charizard wouldn't be seen for a long while until Ash's final gym battle in Johto against Claire, when Charizard shows up by surprise to help Ash against Claire's Dragonair. This then makes it an event whenever Charizard shows up, and it was always something to look forward to. Ash would use Charizard against his battle against Gary, a battle we'd been looking forward to since the start of the show. It's such a cool battle, and it ends with Charizard versus Blastoise, and Charizard solos Blastoise just by pure power.
So Ash would go on to use Charizard like this every now and then. He'd come back in some really cool battles, like at the Battle Frontier where he beat a legendary all on his own, or when he came back in Black and White as an actual main Pokemon. And I thought this was so cool when I watched it. He had a rivalry with his Dragonite and stuff. Oh, they could never make me hate you, Black and White anime.
And of course, when talking about Charizard, who can forget the third thing that makes him so cool? All of his different forms. So coming into a new era of Pokemon, Game Freak had decided to add a new gimmick to their latest game, Mega Evolution. And just to say, it's obviously the coolest gimmick of all Pokemon, and if anyone says otherwise, they're wrong. But Charizard got not just one Mega Evolution, but he actually got two. One of two, at the time, Pokemon that got two Mega Evolutions, the other being Mewtwo, and more recently Raichu.
And Mega Charizard X is probably hands down the coolest version of Charizard, mainly because Charizard is finally a Dragon type. After 20 years, Charizard is a Dragon type.
I mean, look at this guy. He's so cool. He is literally so cool. The colour makes him look like a shiny, the blue flames make him seem even more powerful than normal, and the way he so effortlessly just glides around without even making his wings move is truly so cool. Truly a mega design of all time.
Now, with all that said, that doesn't mean that I dislike Mega Charizard Y. Quite the opposite. I actually really like Mega Charizard Y.
Now, whilst Mega Charizard X looks like a really cool Mega Pokemon, Mega Charizard Y looks like an actual evolution to Charizard. Like, if he was to just permanently evolve, and that's what he would look like, I'd really like it. The design kind of feels like something that would have been designed in the 90s as a Charizard evolution. It feels like such a natural step up from Charmander to Charmeleon to Charizard. And I can't help but feel that I love this design. And that's why I'm really happy that Charizard got two Megas. One to make him look cool as fuck, and another just to expand on the design of Charizard. Both 10 out of 10 Megas, and I have to admit, I was slightly disappointed he didn't get a Mega in Legends EA. But then, he doesn't need one because his two Megas are already perfect. There's nothing you can really do to change that.
And that's not all, because Charizard will go on to get a Gigantamax form in Galar.
And I also really like this design. But I'll never be able to be a big fan of Dynamax, since I think it's a pretty boring gimmick, but I'll talk about that another time. But when you do use it, it's very cool. So the custom designs have to match this. And in Charizard's case, I would say, in fact, he does fit this. I mean, to start on the good parts. I love his wings. I love that his wings are made of fire, and the colours, they just look so nice. I also love the glowing throat from all of the heat inside of there. And as a giant Pokemon, he is really well designed. But the bad parts are that you can't really use him in the main game, and if you do use him, you can only use him in 10 battles in the story? And obviously this isn't Charizard's fault, but the limitations of the gimmick that this design is used for does unfortunately affect my opinions on the design. But when you do use Gigantamax Charizard, it's always really fucking cool. 10 out of 10 design, and the shiny form, oh my fucking god, 20 out of 10.
Charizard is genuinely such a cool Pokemon. I mean, look at the guy. So fucking cool. And some people are starting to get quite sick of Charizard, saying that he's overused or overhyped, and, you know, fair enough, Charizard does get used quite a lot, but I can't help but enjoy it every time there's a new form or a new event or even just a new model for Charizard, because, come on, if you were Game Freak and you had such a cool, an amazing and iconic Pokemon as Charizard, wouldn't you use him too? I love you, Charizard. So what else is there to say? I love Charizard, and I love all of the Pokemon surrounding Charizard. So what does Charmander have to say? Eh? What do you have to say?
Charmander is the greatest thing in the world, and Joe is a loser.
Oh. Well, there goes my smell. What do you have to say, other Charmander? Fuck!